I should have never gone back to those woods. Not after what happened the first time, but something about that place kept pulling me in, like it still had unfinished business with me. It all started in the summer of 2019. I was 22, fresh out of college, and looking for some kind of reconnection with nature, one of those soul-searching getaways people romanticize. I found a remote stretch of national forest in Oregon. Not the kind you see on maps with marked trails and RV-friendly campgrounds. No, this was deep woods, forgotten woods. I only found it because an old hunter I met at a bar told me about it. He said, "Ain't been people up there in decades. You want quiet? That's where you go." He wasn't. Wrong. The road in was rough, overgrown, and barely wide enough for my truck. Trees leaned in like they were trying to keep outsiders out. I had to hike the last mile to reach the spot he'd mentioned, a clearing by a stream, totally untouched. No beer cans, no fire pits, no human traces at all. It was perfect. For the first day or two, it was everything I'd hoped for. I pitched my tent, fished in the stream, read my flashlight, and just listened to the wind sift through the pines. The silence out there was thick. Not peaceful silence, heavy silence, the kind that feels like it's pressing down on you. But I convinced myself that was just me adjusting to the solitude. The weirdness started on the third night. I just crawled into my sleeping bag when I heard it. Twigs snapping just beyond the tree line. I froze, listening. It wasn't a deer. It was too deliberate, too slow. Then I heard breathing, not an animal huffing or snorting. This was steady, human. I called out, "Hey, who's there?" No answer, just more breathing. And then silence again. I grabbed my flashlight and unzipped the tent just enough to shine the light out. Nothing, just black trees staring back at me. No eyes reflecting, no movement. But the air felt charged, like I'd just missed something standing right there. That night I barely slept. I kept the hatchet I'd brought for firewood clutched to my chest. Morning came slow, and when the light finally trickled in, I stepped outside, half expecting to see footprints around the tent. But there was nothing, not even animal prints. The soil was undisturbed. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. I told myself I was being paranoid, that isolation does weird things to your head. So I went about my day, gathered firewood, explored a bit. Upstream, tried to shake off the unease. It worked, for a while. That night, just after I doused the fire and zipped up in the tent, the breathing came back. Closer this time. I didn't yell, didn't move. I just listened, my eyes wide open in the dark. The breathing moved slowly, deliberately, around the tent. It circled. One full rotation. Then a hand pressed against the nylon wall of the tent, right by my head. Just one handprint, slow and deliberate, fingers splayed out. I didn't dare move. My heart was hammering. The hand slid down the tent wall, dragging a faint sound with it. Then silence. I don't know how long I lay there, frozen, before I finally passed out from sheer exhaustion. The next morning, again, nothing, no prints, no signs anyone had been there. But I noticed something I hadn't before. The woods had gone quiet. Too quiet, no birds, no insects, just wind, and even that sounded off. Still, I didn't leave. I should have, but I was stubborn. I needed to prove to myself I wasn't just unraveling. That night, I didn't sleep in the tent. I packed my bag and hiked about a quarter mile up a small hill, hidden in thick brush, and waited. From my hiding spot, I could see the campsite below. Around 2 a.m., I saw movement. Someone emerged. From the trees, they were tall, pale, barefoot, completely nude. Their movements were jerky, like they were unused to having a body, like they were learning how to walk. They approached the tent, cocking their head left and right like a curious animal. Then they did something I'll never forget. They knelt down beside the tent, slowly unzipped it and crawled inside. My heart dropped. I watched the tent for what felt like an eternity. No movement, no sounds. Then, after several minutes, the figure climbed back out. But something was off. It wasn't the same figure. This one was shorter, bulkier. Their movements were more confident, more human. They zipped the tent back up, stood there a moment, and then slowly walked back into the woods. That was enough for me. I never went back to those woods, but sometimes late at night I get this sense, this feeling, like I left a piece of myself behind out there, and one day it might come looking for me.